The bill that will ban TikTok in the USA has passed Congress. All that's left now is for President Biden to sign off. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the U.S. House and Senate passing a bill that could ban TikTok in the USA. All we're waiting for now is for President Biden to sign off. Now, $1 million question. If and when President Biden signs off on the bill and it becomes law, what happens next? Does TikTok vanish from your phone? Are you able to use it anymore? Can you get a VPN and work around a potential US ban? How will this whole thing work? Well, let me break it down for you right quick before we get to a few things that are going on. First things first, this does not ban TikTok right away. What'll happen is TikTok will be forced to sell to another company, potentially a non-Chinese company, a non-foreign company, maybe a Microsoft, an Apple, or a suitable buyer stateside. Now, there's reasons for that, in my humble opinion, but before I get to my reasoning, let's get through some articles here. Then we're going to hear from the CEO of TikTok, Su-Chi Chu, and we're going to see a news story, but check it out. Senate passes $1.2 trillion funding package in early morning, ending threat of partial shutdown. Now, this was one thing we did. Okay, a bunch of money we're spending that we don't have. We're $35 trillion and counting in debt, but 1.2 trillion more. What's the big deal? Okay, that's one thing. And then there was another bill aside from that. 95 billion with a B in foreign aid for Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. Now, $1 million question. $1 billion question. Why am I showing you this? Well, this particular package right here has the TikTok ban in it. Yes, it does. Why? I don't know. But a lot of these bills have thousands of pages, and you'll see a headline. It'll be just 2 or 3 things, but there's a bunch of other things in these bills. And speaking about other things in the bills, going back to the whole thing about VPN, you guys know what a VPN is. You can use that to make it look like you're somewhere else other than where you are. For example, if you want to use TikTok, but it's banned in the US, you can use a VPN on your device that says you're in Switzerland, you're in Timbuktu somewhere in Africa. You can say you wherever you want to be. But under the bill that I saw back in March, when the House passed it, if you use a VPN for that purpose, that could result in a fine and or prison time. And if I'm saying anything wrong, y'all let me know in the comments. I saw something like 20 years in the penitentiary making big rocks, little rocks for using the VPN to bypass the ban. Now, I hope that's not true, but I most certainly did see that in the bill from earlier this year. Now, let's go and hear from the TikTok CEO, Su-Chi Chu. Hear what he has to say, and then we're going to get to a news story. And I will link to everything in the description. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Hi, everyone. It's Show here. As you may have heard, Congress passed a bill that the president signed into law that is designed to ban TikTok in the United States. That will take TikTok away from you and 170 million Americans who find community and connection on our platform. Make no mistake, this is a ban on TikTok and a ban on you and your voice. Politicians may say otherwise, but don't get confused. Many who sponsored the bill admit a TikTok ban is the ultimate goal. It's obviously a disappointing moment, but it does not need to be a defining one. It's actually ironic because the freedom of expression on TikTok reflects the same American values that make the United States a beacon of freedom. TikTok gives everyday Americans a powerful way to be seen and heard, and that's why so many people have made TikTok part of their daily lives. Rest assured, we aren't going anywhere. We are confident and we will keep fighting for your rights in the courts. The facts and the Constitution are on our side, and we expect to prevail again. Our community is filled with people who have found acceptance and compassion, offered inspiration and encouragement, increased their awareness, and brought into perspectives, ultimately adding more delight and joy to their lives. Our community is also filled with 7 million business owners who have built their livelihoods on TikTok. While we make our case in court, you'll still be able to enjoy TikTok like you always have. In fact, if you have a story about how TikTok impacts your life, we'll love for you to share it to showcase exactly what we're fighting for. Meanwhile, we will continue to invest and innovate to keep our community vibrant, exciting, and safe. Through our US data security efforts, we have built safeguards that no other peer company has made. We have invested billions of dollars to secure your data and keep our platform free from outside manipulation. I can't say this enough. This extraordinary diverse community is what makes TikTok so special, what makes it matter, and what makes it meaningful. And we'll keep working to ensure you will always have the opportunity, the safety, and the freedom to enjoy all TikTok has to offer. Thank you.
So there we go. That's the CEO of TikTok, Shou Zi-Chew, giving his message about this TikTok ban. Now, I want to say one thing. The reason why the U.S. wants to ban TikTok is not because they are worried about the kind of content that the Chinese Communist Party will put out there. They're not really worried about that necessarily, as far as trying to influence the youth with negative imagery. It's not really about that. What it's about is how they could influence them politically. You see, TikTok, although it's not owned, quote unquote, by China, if you are a Chinese company and you get any kind of money with China in a serious way, then they're going to have influence on your company. That's just what it is. So in the event of political uprising, unrest, TikTok can just put out messages and it can impact millions of people in the U.S. and the rest of the world. The U.S. does not want them to have that kind of power, so they're trying to ban it or sell it to break the Chinese influence. They don't mind the technology. The algorithm they don't mind, because I've seen some pretty bad algorithms and some pretty bad things that were done by U.S. companies like Facebook selling your data. Okay, I've seen that happen, and it's not really a big deal. Anybody trying to ban Facebook, the problem is the government of the U.S. cannot control TikTok because the Chinese government can control it. That's the ultimate problem here, and that's why the U.S. government wants them to sell it. Now, again, if TikTok does not sell, then they'll be banned. If they do sell, then they can stay, but then it may change for you. Okay, that's what's happening right here. But from the CEO, he's like, look, we're going to go to court and we're going to fight it. So this ruling may not stand. We'll see what happens. Let's keep on going here. This is going to be the news clip about the TikTok ban. Check it out.
The clock is ticking for TikTok. This evening at the Capitol, the Senate passed a bill that could lead to a nationwide ban on the popular app. It's now in the hands of President Biden, and late tonight, he said he plans to sign it. So what happens next, and when could your TikTok account go dark? NBC's Jocelyn Morano is with us with this late developing news. Jocelyn.
Yeah, Raj, a lot to talk about here. Congress is essentially giving TikTok's parent company two options: sell the platform to an approved buyer or see it banned in the U.S. We talked with a professor tonight who says there are legitimate concerns with the app, but we also talked with content creators who say the app has made a positive impact in their lives.
Tonight, the future of TikTok in the U.S. is uncertain. The U.S. Senate passed legislation that would force TikTok's China-based parent company ByteDance to sell the social media platform to an approved buyer or face a ban in the U.S. It was part of a $95 billion foreign aid package that will deliver funding to Israel, Ukraine, and Taiwan. It now goes to President Joe Biden's desk.
Now, imagine that. Imagine, okay, you have a foreign aid package with money that goes partially to Taiwan, which is a really sensitive place because Taiwan says it's independent. We say it's independent, but China says, no, they're not independent. They're part of China. Then you're dealing with the South China Sea. And at the same time, in that same bill, when you give money to Taiwan, you want to take away China's influence on TikTok, which is probably their chief export when you're talking about technology. So that is a really sticky situation. I hope we don't have to fight World War III over TikTok. I hope not, but I digress.
Desk. He released a statement tonight announcing that he plans on signing the bill into law. ByteDance would have 9 months to sell, but the president could choose to extend that by another few months.
Or they can go through the other route, which is suing the government, and that can drag the case for years.
Professor,
it'll be years. Just for the court process alone, it'll be years. And TikTok has pockets that are deep as deep can get, deep as the ocean. So they can drag it out for years and years and years. And they can turn the American people against the government, because all they're going to do is put out what you just saw from the CEO and things like that all the time. See that, and that's the problem, that the government does not want China to have that kind of power over U.S. citizens. That's all that it is. It's not about the algorithm. It's about the messaging that could get out that would, in some kind of way, impact the government's ability to control the people.
Ahmed Banafas says there are legitimate concerns with TikTok, such as information they're collecting like your age, location, and contact list.
And all of this will create some kind of understanding of what's going on in the in the American society.
And while other apps on your phone can also collect information, Banafas says the difference is who has access to the data.
The fears are coming from the fact that the misinformation and the interference that we could see with the election by posting, a deep fake video through TikTok, and it can spread like fire.
But some here in the Bay Area have seen the positive impacts of TikTok. Maida started posting videos of her now husband, Aaron, interacting with her parents in Spanish a few years ago. These moments captured by a camera and then shared with others.
Okay, there's more, but you get the idea. People want TikTok. Some say that it's a negative thing, but ultimately, as I close, the reason why the federales are getting involved, the reason why the government's getting involved, is because they want to maintain that control. They don't want China to have it. That's it. That's all in a nutshell. And I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think that TikTok should be banned in the USA, or should it not be banned? Whatever your thoughts are, one way or the other, let me know in the comments below. You guys might know where I'm at. I'm not really necessarily in favor of a TikTok ban, because I kind of understand what this is. This is about the government wanting control over the people. That's all. Now, I'm not going to say TikTok is this fantastic app. I would say that it's kind of like the Antichrist. But Facebook, have you been on there lately? How about Instagram? How about the government wanting to control these platforms like the way they've done before? We saw the whole Hunter Biden thing. They did not allow you to publish that on any social media platform, but it was real. See, stuff like that, that's what they want to do. Remember Hunter Biden, the laptop, and Ashley Biden's diary? If you posted anything like that back then, your whole account got nuked. Why? Because the government said that we can't have that out there. This is the reason. So although I'm not necessarily a TikTok fan or TikToker, I'm also not a fan of the federal government at all. So it is what it is. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.